Tolly Anderson with Behind the Badge, standing outside Buena Park Police Department, where their police chief has been with this department for 42 years. That is Chief Sianez, but he is hanging it up after a long year in this field. He comes from a family of law enforcement, and his next steps is to enjoy life.
Never even thought about being a police chief. I was a captain. I was an only captain here for about a year or so, working under a new chief here that came from the outside. You know, seeing him do his job, I knew I could do it. And I knew he was going to retire. And I thought, my God, I can do this. If the opportunity is given to me, I can do it. And so the city manager had approached me and said, hey, are you interested in being the police chief? And I talked to my mentors about how do I change the culture of this organization, because it's like turning the Titanic, right? Culture usually wins. And so it took me about 5 years. You know, I talk a lot about, especially as a police chief, that there's three pillars of success that employees, I think, want to follow, right? It's do more than your share of work, do what your boss tells you to do, and stay out of other people's business. And I remember my dad used to tell me that. You know, I just followed those three pillars. And, you know, I came here, I worked hard. In 3.5 years, I got my first detective assignment because I was rewarded for working hard. And lots of doors opened for me because of that hard work. I always tell everybody, especially that work for me, that it's okay to be out of your comfort zone and take risks and do things that maybe you're not, you know, that you thought maybe you wouldn't want to do, right? Because what it does is makes you more well-rounded, right? And so I did things that I was uncomfortable with, some of the assignments I worked, but it just made me a better cop, maybe gave me a better understanding of how to run a police department, really, to be honest with you. You know, as a police chief, my ultimate goals, when I first became a police chief, was one, to gain support of the community, right? Have them trust us and make sure they trusted us. Two, to gain support of my city council, right? They're the ones that have to trust your police department and make sure we're going to do the right thing. So I had to develop relationships with not only the community, but also my city manager and my boss, my city council. And then the third thing is to develop those relationships within the organization. And that involved the police union, right? And that was the most challenging. The police union was the most challenging. You know, if I can give anybody any words of wisdom coming into this career, I would say that it isn't all about crime fighting anymore. And so it's not like you see on TV. And it's a lot of everything, right? It's a lot about relationships and community and you know, just treating people right, and, you know, even the criminals, you know, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching.
One of Chief Sianez's accomplishments during his time at Buena Park PD was partnering with other Orange County chiefs and creating the North Orange County Public Safety Collaborative.
We were given $20 million to deal with homelessness, family violence, which is gang violence, and then reentry of prisoners back into our community. And they're all kind of related, right? So you got homeless people that have been in jail, that haven't been able to find a job. You have gang members that have been arrested, that are getting out of jail, they can't find jobs. And being able to invest in individuals so they never go down that path in life, right? Whether it's homelessness or gang violence or even go to jail. And so all the police chiefs got together and we strategized how we were going to do this. And one of the things we knew we had to do was work a little bit closer together, right? We were all kind of doing our own thing. We all thought we were doing the right thing. But when you pull your resources together and work collaboratively with nonprofits, because we had a big sum of money to provide to nonprofits to help us, man, we made a huge difference.
Moving forward, the department will have current Captain Frank Nunez as interim chief. Sianez has complete faith and trust in his department and assures the community will be in good hands.
He's shown me the ups and downs of being an executive in a police department, but the importance of going back to my roots, as I told you earlier, engaging the community even from this level, going down and making those relationships that will better serve not only the police department, but the community as a whole.